Okay, so I really don't know what to do with the intro. Like, I'm being completely honest here, I've got no ideas. So, I'm just gonna play a metal pipe sound effect, and we're gonna get into it. Hello everyone, I'm your host Kelpart, and welcome back to Ranked, the series where I rank things. Today on the chopping block, Super Mario Bros. Funk Mix Deluxe. And yes, could I just call this Funk Mix? Yes. Could I just call this Friday Night Funkin' Funk Mix? Yes, I also could. But I'm being accurate to the title, dang it. Anyways, yes! Finally! It's time! Funk Mix! I've teased that I've liked this one for a very long time, whether it was using an instrumental from this mod for the Ranked Series 2 first trailer, or back in some of the callouts that I've had for this one, specifically at the end of the last Ranked, and in Mario's Madness when I complimented the OST. So, yeah, I've been hinting for a while that I really like this mod, and I mean, what's not to love about it? 15 short yet super fun songs filled with great pixel art, super fun charts, and just a ton of charm that I adore. Unfortunately, a while back, this one was cancelled, and yet somehow to this day it still kinda gets collabs. Like, for a mod that was cancelled over 2 years ago at this point, the fact that it still gets collabs with stuff like Mario's Madness and YTP Invasion, it's beyond me, but you know, I'm not complaining, I love this mod so much. I really think that this mod has one of the best OSTs of any mod, if I'm being honest. Like, nothing goes above and beyond to be incredible, spoiler alert, but also spoiler alert, I like all of these songs to a certain extent. So, yeah, I figured, what the heck, let's rank this. And besides, this year has been crazy when it comes to rankings, so ending off on just like a nice little mod, it feels right to me. Anyways, there's not much else to be said, so let's just hop into the rankings, shall we? Also, quick disclaimer before we get into the video. Hi, post-production Kelpart here. I forgot to put this in the script or anything because I didn't really know, but I recently got a new microphone and this is the first video that I'm using to record with it, and I want to know, to me it sounds a lot better, but I want to know what the thoughts of the people are. So, in the comments, just asking, if you, I want to know, is the microphone better than the old rankings, or is it worse? I want to know your guys' thoughts. I think it sounds better, but I could be wrong, so. Yeah, okay, now we're getting into the rankings, let's go. Number 15, Destruction Dance. A song with Waluigi in it? In last place? How dare I? Well, okay, calm down for a second. I still really like this one. As I said at the start of the video, I like all of these songs. However, I do have a reason for putting this in last place. Well, I do enjoy every single song from this mod. This is honestly close to a C tier if I'm being real, and it's the only one that I probably wouldn't put on my playlist. The main reason for that is just the fact that it's just a remix of an already existing song based off of the Mario DDR song where you fight against Waluigi, which, obviously, is a really cool reference, and Foreman Spike also being included is really cool. I like both of them. Both the chromatics sound nice, the instrumental is fun and upbeat, everything here is pretty good. Unfortunately, some of the tone changes, especially the one when Waluigi shows up, just aren't the most pleasant to listen to. Like, they're not bad, and it's partially the fault of the song it's remixing, but it's not the most fun thing in the world. Waluigi's vocals also sound off here. I don't really know how to put it into words. Again, not bad per se, but it just feels off, which is a shame because I really like Waluigi. I'll mention the overall style of the mod / charting in a couple later songs because I think those are better songs to talk about it, but for the purposes of this song specifically, all I've got to say is that I like Waluigi's posing a lot. Despite the 8-bit appearance, they were able to show the expressiveness of his character really well, so that's super appreciated. But as far as Funk Mix songs go, this was the easiest choice for last, and yeah, sorry to all the Destruction Dance fans, I know a couple of you in the comments really like this one, but yeah, this is definitely the worst for me. Number 14, Mushroom Plains. Okay, just a disclaimer for the start of this entry, everything from here all the way up to S tier were honestly some of the toughest choices I've ever made in a ranking video. And I know I say that a lot, and I normally I mean it, but all of these songs are charming for very similar reasons. So just know that on any day, any one of these could flip-flop with each other depending on how I feel. That being said, Mushroom Plains. This song does everything an opening song should do. It's not too difficult, it has an upbeat and fun tone to it, and just reflects a super fun Mario vibe on it. Speaking of, I can finally talk about the Mario chromatic in this mod. This is just my favorite Mario chromatic in all of FNF, maybe behind something like C++ Mario, but honestly they're both really good and very similar, so it makes a lot of sense why I like both of them. And no, before you go crazy in the comments, that does not include every single Mario's Madness chromatic, because some of those, I'm not considering Mario, I mean like just base Mario. I know there's not that much competition for that, but like, this is the best one, okay? Just base Mario. Some of the Mario's Madness chromatics are better, stop whining in my comment section! Again, I'll talk more about it in later entries, but this mod is filled with almost entirely bit-crushed vocals, which are my weak spot when it comes to chromatics. Like, they just all sound so good to me, with Mario's obviously being the most prominent. Like with Destruction Dance, everything about this song is just really well made. It's just a little on the basic side for me, which is why it ranks so low. This instrumental is fun, but it's definitely lacking in some areas for it to be considered amazing, and again, nothing crazy happens, which, well, it's perfect for what it goes for, also makes it one of the weakest of the mod. Still, I like it though. Good song. Number 13, Lethal Lava Lair. Honestly, when I was looking at the comment section for predictions, and honestly when I just asked some of my friends for predictions, this one honestly placed a lot higher than I thought a lot of people were gonna place it for me, because honestly, Lethal Lava Lair is not amazing. That being said, there's only really one thing keeping it out of A tier, and it's really just the opening section. Like, I'm serious. Those 15 or so seconds are so off to me that it keeps it down, but that's like it. That opening section just feels so weird, and it's so tonally different from the rest of the song that, granted, if it were in like the middle it wouldn't be as bad, but the start of the song, it's just really weird. Besides that, it has very similar problems as Mushroom Plains, just less so in most areas. The instrumental is still missing a little oomph to help the song, and it's just another semi-basic one at the end of the day. Melody-wise, though, the song is a little bit more interesting, which helps push it over the edge for me. A running theme you'll start to notice in this video is that I don't have much to talk about with each entry due to the overall simplicity and shortness of each song. For this one though, I'm going to quickly fill the void by talking about a smaller issue I have with one aspect of the mod, the charting. Now, the charting itself is fantastic, they're all super fun to play and they're all satisfying, I love them. However, one smaller issue that's especially present in this song is that since the window is sized to a smaller aspect ratio because of the reference, which, granted, I love that they do that visually, the notes are right next to each other, which unfortunately sometimes makes the opponent's right arrow and boyfriend's left arrow mesh together. And while it's not too annoying, sometimes the charts can have both singing at the same time, and sometimes it's just a lot to keep track of, but you know, it's not that big of an issue at the end of the day, just sometimes annoying. Beyond that, another solid song that fits the castle theming well. Number 12, Wrong Warp. They really should have called this one Glitcher. Wait, what? What do you mean that name's already taken? So, this is another free play song, based off of the Wrong Warp from the original Super Mario Bros., which takes you to the Minus World. It's overall a really solid reference, and the transition into a song works well enough. I especially like the more bit-crushed and glitchy vocals, even compared to the normal ones of this mod. Like, they sound good here. The one reason this one is a little lower than some others is again because of one tiny issue. Well, technically too, the instrumental is just a little too bare bones for me, but that one is almost non-existent. I feel like this one is a little too short for me, and like, I'll talk about it more later, but I know that sounds super dumb considering almost all of these songs are incredibly short. But this one is one of the few where I feel like more could have been done. Like, lean into the glitchier aspect a little more, have the background change, something like that. It's easily the song that's affected the most by Funk Mix having really short songs, and while it's still good, just something that should have been expanded upon a little bit more. Number 11, Green Screen. Yeah, this is another one of those songs that just kinda flip-flopped around the list a lot. Like, this song went from the worst of the mod to me, to one of the top 5, to the middle, etc, so as I tend to do in this scenario, I'm gonna put it roughly near the middle, if not a little lower, because I do have a few nitpicks with this one. The Game Boy camera is a really cool reference, and the overall different vibe it goes for over most songs is nice. Granted, a song later on does that different style thing a whole lot better, but this one gets the job done. Also, the method of even playing this one is unique. In fact, I'm sure a good chunk of you watching this haven't even seen this song before. To play it, you've got to input the Konami code into the main menu, aka up, up, down, down, left, right, BA. Not select and start though, because that's not an option on a keyboard. It's such a random and cool reference that I love, but unfortunately, on the song side, there's just two smaller issues holding it back for me. For one, Boyfriend is mixed just a little too quiet. Like, it's not the end of the world or anything, but I do wish he was a little louder here. And yes, this is a point you're going to want to remember for later, because another song is way worse about this. But that's not the main reason. The main issue this song has is just being a little one note. Like, again with the whole shorter length stuff, I wish that more happened here, but it's very reliant on similar sounding melodies, making everything kind of blend together too much for me. Still some really solid melodies in there, just nothing that really helps this song stand out too much. Number 10, Bricks and Lifts. There is very little to say about Bricks and Lifts if I'm being honest. The whole song is basically just a remix of the underground theme from Super Mario Bros. And while it's a really good remix, it's still just kinda that. Just a remix. This is where the instrumentals start getting really good though. With the added fireball sound effects, nice drums that don't overpower the 8-bit style too much, just all of it's really, really nice. But yeah, no, that's like it. This is like one of the shortest entries I've ever done. I don't have anything else to say. It's just a really good song that's very easily loopable. Number 9, 2-player game. So, I know a lot of you were expecting this to be a lot higher for me. I mean, I talk about this all the time. I love this song. Again, I use the instrumental in the trailer for the Ranked Series 2. You know, it's an amazing song. But it's still really low for one reason, and we'll get into that in a second. But first, why I love this song. I love this instrumental so much. It is hard to put into words just how good this instrumental is. It just fits everything Funk Mix is going for so well, and I love it. The fact that this is an older song and it's still this good, I don't understand. Luigi also has some really good vocals in this mod. They've just got some sort of charm to them that make them so fun to listen to. Heck, there's even a gimmick in this song, no power-ups allowed, so don't mess up. Yeah, if you haven't caught on by now, there's an entire gimmick in this mod where if you miss a note, you take damage instead of lose a little bit of health, so it's a lot easier to die. But throughout each song, you will get power-ups to restore your health, so it's not that bad. But in this one, don't miss. It's so cool, and it fits a challenge song for Luigi really well. Oh, and the song's over. Well, that was fun while it lasted. Yeah, well, I don't think this one is necessarily too short for what it's trying to do. By God, does a timer of only 1 minute and 26 seconds really hurt this one from ranking higher. Like, it is really short, even by this mod's standards. It's still a really good song, don't get me wrong. Heck, the shorter length of it all makes it one of the most loopable songs of the whole mod. It's just that putting it any higher would be a crime to anything that ended up below it. Don't worry though, there is a song that is just as short as this one, that ranks a lot higher, that I'm sure probably a lot of you were expecting to be lower, but don't worry, that one will get its justice. Unfortunately, my boy Luigi just doesn't have enough to be higher than 9th. If only there was a song with Luigi that was longer. Number 8, Deep Sea Voyage. Oh boy, Deep Sea Voyage. I don't think this one quite reaches the peaks of 2-player game. Like, again, that instrumental is godlike. However, its music fits an underwater song really well, while still managing to pull off being a fast, intense chase song. Luigi's chromatic here still sounds great. I love the use of the Super Mario 64 sound font in the instrumental. The chart is fun. Oh yeah, the charting, I guess I should mention that. We get a super fun mechanic here, that being the poison mushroom. It's very similar to the one in Mario's Madness. Try and avoid it or you'll take damage. It's a little more fun in this mod though, as the unique damage system makes it much more deadly than just simple health drain. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention music-wise part is that they reference 2-player game and they use the main best melody, and oh my god, I love that part so much. Honestly, at this point, we're getting to the point where songs don't really have any flaws. This one just doesn't do too much, just barely leaving it out of S tier. Now, while that last statement might lead you to believe that the next entry is S, it's shockingly not. In fact, it might be one of the few surprises I've got left in this ranking, mostly due to it being too low. Number 7, Koopa Armada. Bowser, that longtime bad guy, really does suck.
And I mean that in a good way.
I'm gonna miss that man. Alright, getting this out of the way, I really like Koopa Armada. I really, really do. But honestly, I feel like people call this one of the best of the mod, if not the best, when in reality it really isn't. I can totally see why. The intense rock instrumental that's still got the 8-bit instruments and sound effects to keep that chiptune-ish tone, the fact that it's more difficult, there's just a lot to like here. My main issue though is, ironically enough, the vocals, which is typically this mod's strong suit. Like with Green Screen, Boyfriend here is especially mixed too quietly, sometimes being flat out impossible to hear over Bowser and the intense instrumental. And as for the big king of Koopas himself, I mean, his mixing is fine. I just don't really care for his chromatic at all. Something about it is just so off-putting to me. Again, it's not bad. If it was, the song would be much lower. I don't even really know how to describe it. It just doesn't sound great to me. Especially on the faster runs this song has, it's not great. So, while this song is really good and has some pretty high highs, there are quite a few flaws for me to justifiably put this in S tier. Good thing it's the best song from the main weeks, right? Right? Number 6, Hop Hop Heights. Alright, so this is one of the most underrated songs from the mod, and I will stand by that. Remember how earlier I called Two-Player Game one of the most loopable songs? Yeah, well, there's a reason I didn't say the most loopable songs. Heck, this song is somehow shorter than Two-Player Game is. Granted, it's by like literally a second, but I don't care. Each melody is just so fast and catchy. This is the definitive showcase of what it means to be a funk mix song. The chiptune background is so nice to listen to, and the ba-bomb's chromatic? I know it's a problem many people have with this song, but it might honestly be my favorite part of the whole thing. Its chromatic is literally just a Super Mario 64 sound font, and yet it works so well for the ba-bomb both music-wise and thematically, since they are a very important part of Super Mario 64. It all just comes together in such a beautiful and amazing way, and while the top 5 may have things about them that make them better, this one is just so charming and really encapsulates everything I adore about this mod. Last quick thing to mention before moving on to the top 5, the poison mushroom mechanic actually comes back in this song. Kinda weird that it's both in this and Deep Sea Voyage, but not Koopa Armada, you know, the literal last song of the week. Kinda weird, but yeah, whatever. It's actually quite difficult this time around. Not too much, mind you, but I think the balance is just right to fit nicely. Alright, that's about it. Moving on. Before moving on to the true peak of this mod, I really quickly just need to stop and talk about some of those collabs I mentioned earlier in the intro. I've already talked extensively about singing Game Rhythm 9 in my Mario's Madness ranking, and to be honest, despite the fact that a lot of entries in that video are very outdated by this point, I still think my points hold up. And if I had to rank it anywhere, just know that this would easily take the top spot on this list. Like, this mod is good, but singing Game Rhythm is a Mario's Madness song, so like, it just kinda wins. Now, as for the other major one, Plummeting Assault. Now, since I don't plan on ranking the mod anytime soon, I can openly say this, so you can let it linger when I eventually get around to ranking this. I think YTP Invasion is honestly kinda overrated. Not bad, just let me get that out of the way, it's not bad, I enjoy the mod. I just feel like everyone I've ever talked to says this is like one of the greatest mods ever released, and it just isn't for me. Now, as for Plummeting Assault, yeah, this is still amazing, I'm not gonna lie. It's got both the charm of Funk Mix and YTP at the same time. It's mainly just Ouija's decent chromatic that holds this one back from true greatness. So Plummeting Assault's pretty good, but I want to save extensive thoughts about that one for when I eventually get around to ranking that mod. So yeah, those are the two major ones. I know I'm pretty sure I'm missing a couple, but those are the two main ones that everyone talks about, so those are just some honorable mentions. Oh yeah, also there's this fat guy who got an official Funk Mix song, but I doubt he matters. Anyways, top 5 time. There are some truly amazing songs here, so let's get into it with... Number 5, Portal Power. Not even joking, Portal Power is my favorite Fluffy Hair song. And that is saying something considering how much I love Imposter and Pink Wave. It's just that main melody, man. It is so dang good. The whole song, from the intro with the Portal music to said main melody being a jam, the whole thing just fitting the whole labyrinth puzzle style of Portal while still staying true to the chiptune music, it's all so good. Picking Mario as a deep cut reference is also really nice to see. The portal sound effects in the instrumental are also a nice touch, leading into the mechanic nicely. Mario will shoot portals to block your view of the arrows, and while normally I'm against a mechanic like this, it's honestly kinda welcome here, since you can still very clearly see the notes, it's just a little harder. Sure, this song might be shorter and not do too much, but the strong melodies along with the fun reference easily helps it be top 5 for me. Number 4, First Level. Guys, it's his first levels, duh. You gotta give him feather storms or Elsa from Frozen. Why did I do that? That's so stupid. This song just fills me with so much joy. It's upbeat and catchy like most of the previous songs, but it's polished with a really happy tone. It feels like a joy-filled child is singing his heart out. It's so nice. Also, nice touch with the boss in the background, really invokes that new Super feel. Now, somehow I've neglected to talk about the pixel art style almost this whole video, so might as well get it out of the way now. The pixel art in this mod might honestly be my favorite out of any mod. It's so accurate, it gets everything right, even the references like Mario and of course, Weird Mario. The whole background here is so nice, genuinely looking like something that a 4-year-old would build in Mario Maker. This whole song just reflects childlike wonder. If there was one little critique I had that kept this from going higher, it's the random tone switch in the middle of the song. Does it sound really good? Oh, absolutely. It's just kind of weird when the rest of the song is so happy and free sounding, but still, what an absolutely incredible song. Too bad the top 3 absolutely sweep this mod, it wasn't even close, these top 3 are amazing. Number 3, Booblets. Oh hey, look, it's my old number 1 of the mod. How'd you get all the way down in 3rd, my guy? Like, I mean, it's kind of surprising to be honest, because this song really does have it all. Like Deep Sea Voyage did for the sea, Booblets perfectly fits the spooky vibe of a ghost mansion. The Big Boo has a deeper voice that works well with the instrumental, said instrumental works super well with the fun claps in the background, while it still manages to have a mysterious enough vibe to fit a ghost house. It's all just really great stuff. There's also a Thorns melody? Like, seriously, why does Senpai's melodies get used the most out of base game? Like, there are so many melodies from base game. Why does this stupid piece of garbage get it? At least in this context it makes sense since they're both ghosts. The art here is as fantastic as usual, the charts are all great, it's amazing, but why is it so high? I mean, yeah, this all sounds great, but most other songs have all of this, so why is this so much higher than most of them? Well, that's because it just has one of the coolest mechanics ever. Like, this just kinda wins on cool mechanics. You actually have to move from side to side to avoid the flames, which, while you'd think it would be horribly unbalanced and fair since you have to move and then play a rhythm game, you are given ample time to make it to safety since it's such a small area, so it honestly works really, really well. It's all in all just so cool, easily one of the best mechanics in all of FNF. Unfortunately, while I do love this one, I must admit the song here, while incredible, still just doesn't do enough for me, while these next two are very strong musically, which of course is the most important aspect of the song. Still, love this one. Number 2, Cross-Console Clash. I've come to make an announcement, Sonic the Hedgehog is This song just works for me. I'm running out of unique things to say about the general song, like, yeah, the music is criminally catchy, really loopable, the pixel art is amazing, etc, etc. I've said this all throughout the whole video. I will say though, I really do like what they did with the background. They swapped areas with Sonic getting a 16-bit 1-1 recreation and Mario getting an 8-bit Green Hill. As for the music side, there are 2 reasons I really love this song. Reason 1, the overall feel of it. It just feels like a battle between Mario and Sonic, which is really nice to see given how much of a rivalry these two always have. Especially with those runs at the end of the song, it's so intense. Secondly, the chromatics. I've already talked about how Mario and Luigi both have really, really, really good chromatics in this mod. You get that by this point, I like them a lot. But Sonic and Tails? Here's a little fun fact I doubt many of you knew, but did you actually know that these 2 chromatics are from TGT? Like, yeah, TGT, that mod? These are those chromatics. Sure, they're horribly bit-crushed, but that's still their chromatics, and I like those chromatics already, and you all know how I feel about bit-crushed chromatics, so yeah, no, this is great. And somehow them being paired with the Mario Brothers just sound amazing together. Specifically that one turn where Tails and Luigi sing the Luigi's Mansion theme, it's just a really cool reference and I love it. This song overall just fits, it works well, it's great, I love the rivalry feel, it's all super great stuff. And last thing to mention before moving on to number 1, the chart here is pretty good. Now, I already said that the charts for almost all these songs are pretty good, but I'm just calling out this one because I PFC'd it on camera, baby! Let's go! Woo! But with that one out of the way, there was one song that really stuck out to me in this OST, and I know it's kind of an underrated one because I feel like a lot of people don't like this one, or at the very least overlook it. So you might be surprised to see what's number 1. Number 1, Bullet Time. Oh boy, Bullet Time. I know a lot of people, at least the people that I know personally, don't like this one all too much. But as for me, yeah, no, this easily takes the top spot from me. It's like not even close. Like, Cross Console Clash is a mid-S tier. This is almost an S+ for me. It was always going to be Bullet Time. At least in recent memory. Of course, I talked about how Booblets was number 1 previously, but you know, this has been first for a while, ever since I started planning this video. Like, good god, this song is so amazing. Somehow, in a mod filled with the most catchy chiptune OST ever, the Fast Intense song somehow wins? Like, what? How did that happen? Like I said, this is just fast and intense. The bullet sounds perfectly built around the song and instrumental, Boyfriend is good, I especially like the fading they added to the chromatics too. They made it so that each chromatic blends into the background, bringing out the main one singing, and it's just such a nice touch that I don't see many songs do. I love it so much. It's not the only fun part of the song, though. Remember how I called this song fast and intense? Well, the chart is incredible. It is super difficult, and yet, since it's charted really well, it's still super fun to play. Well, sure, this is definitely one of the weaker top spots I've covered, with a lot less to say since, again, this is Funk Mix, these songs aren't very long or have very much to say about them. This is still a really, really good song, and I think is the definitive Funk Mix song. You know, besides the collabs, but that doesn't really count. Well, that was something. Again, this was kind of anticlimactic of an ending, but I do still enjoy the small and nice OST of this. Okay, what is that sound? Oh no, we've gotta go. I upset him. Oh, we gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here now. The real number 1? Game over. You guys really thought that I wasn't gonna... You guys really thought I wasn't gonna talk about Game Over in this video. You really thought I wasn't gonna find a way to talk about Game Over in this video. I'm honestly kind of impressed that I gaslit you guys into believing I wasn't gonna talk about Game Over. It's Game Over. I've talked about how much I love this song before. And yes, this is an official expansion of the mod. It does count. So, fun little fact for you guys. This used to be my favorite FNF song of all time. And to be honest, this might still be in the top 10. So get this, right? Imagine your regular funk mix song, right? Catchy, got big crushed vocals, the whole 9 yards. Alright, now imagine that, but Power Down. You know, Power Down from Mario's Madness. Yeah, no, this song just clears everything, it's amazing. I've said before that this song puts Power Down to shame, and while yes, I have recently grown to love that song, so it definitely is a lot closer, I still believe that Game Over is way better. It just does everything right. It manages to combine the fake-out section with the Fallen Hero, to the running section, to a reference to level 2 with MX getting big, and then back to a running section. God, it's all there! Like, should saying this is a collaboration between Saster and LexX convince you that it's a masterpiece? It should, but if it doesn't, then let me explain. MX's chromatic here honestly sounds better than it does in Mario's Madness, and you guys already know how much I love that chromatic. Boyfriend sounds great, the instrumental is just pure intensity, and all the melodies just work. They're all so memorable to me and get stuck in my head for hours. Specifically back on the instrumental, I genuinely don't know how, but they managed to keep everything that made so many Funk Mix songs special, like the certain game sound effects, the overall chiptune and 8-bit feel, and somehow add a certain intensity to it that all works together honestly way better than it should. And everything else in the song? Like, literally every aspect of this song is great. The pixel art is easily the best of the entire mod here, especially when Big MX comes into the picture. Like, it looks so clean. The added voice lines are practically a given, they're too iconic to not include in an MX song at this point, and this is one of the few songs where the special health gimmick actually matters. Like with Bullet Time, this song is really difficult, not only just because it's fast like that song, but some patterns like those dang stairs are honestly quite tough to hit. And with the limited health, this song could be quite tough. It's just... wow. Well, it's definitely not the best FNF song anymore. A lot of more recent songs have definitely topped it. The fact that in a couple months, this song will be almost 3 years old and still be this incredible, a genuinely impressive feat, and the big standout song that really rounds out the Funk Mix OST. Alright, now we're done. Yeah, sorry with the whole fake out and everything, but I mean, of course I had to talk about Game Over. Again, used to be my favorite FNF song of all time. Love that song. With everything said and done though, here's the full tier list. As I said earlier, almost everything besides, like, the top 3 placements could definitely change randomly. It seriously was one of the hardest rankings I have ever had to do. Such a good mod. If you haven't already, please go check it out. Links in the description below. But with that over, what exactly is coming next? Well, I've got plans, and I got a lot of plans, but I'm currently working on the script for the next ranked already, and of course, other videos, etc., there's a ton coming. However, I am also making my typical end-of-year recap kind of video as to what's happened, and most importantly, what's coming up next, so you'll have to wait for that for a lot more announcements, and trust me, there's gonna be a lot in that video. But I guess I can throw you guys a bone and say what's next. Well, it's... okay, I'm not stalling for that. It's frickin' Wednesday's Infidelity. I've been wanting to talk about this mod for way too long. It was gonna be the first one I covered in Ranked Series 2, but I got out of hand very fast because of this dumb plumber. So, you know, what's next, okay? But, yeah, beyond that, I don't really have much else to add, so, yeah, I guess we're just gonna end it here. So if you guys did in fact enjoy this video, why not subscribe? It helps me out a ton and helps you get suggested more videos from me. Make sure to like, comment, turn on notifications, all the good stuff. And of course, friendly reminder that we've got both a Discord server and a Twitter/Blue Sky where I post a ton of announcements, and there's just a lot of fun stuff going on all 3 of those, so if you want to join any of them, links in the description below. But with all that said, I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!